Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to talk about preventive measures with food security within a retail environment, focusing on industry-driven guidelines and best practices protecting the hospitality food supply. Joining us today is an expert in this space, Daniel Liu. He's a principal consultant on safety and security with the Rimkus Group. Daniel has significant experience with physical security within the hospitality industry. He's been an expert in cases involving negligent security claims, and he's certified in enterprise security risk management. Please welcome Daniel Liu.
Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Daniel. Thank you for being here. So the guidance here today is designed to aid operators in retail food stores and food service establishments. It's a very diverse set of establishments, which includes both very large and small entities. The guidance identifies preventive measures to minimize risks and threats to food under the control of retail establishments and mitigate any possible tampering or malicious criminal or terrorist actions. So this guidance will be divided into 5 sections. It will be management, human element, staff, human element, public, facility, and operations. So to get started with management, preparing for the possibility of tampering or other malicious criminal or terrorist actions. This can be broken down by assigning responsibility for security to knowledgeable individuals, conducting an initial assessment of food security procedures, having an appropriate crisis management strategy in place, planning for emergency evacuation, including preventive security breaches, becoming familiar with an emergency response system, ensuring that management is aware of 24-hour contact information for police, fire, rescue, homeland security agencies, making sure staff is aware of who in management to contact and alert in the chance of a potential security problem, and promoting food security awareness to all staff so they're aware of any possible tampering. Supervision is basically by providing an appropriate level of supervision to all staff, including temporary staff, maintenance, etc., and conducting routine security checks of the premises. Investigation of suspicious activity breaks down to investigating threats or information about signs of tampering, malicious, criminal, or terrorist actions. Also alerting appropriate law enforcement and public health authorities about any threats. The evaluation program is basically evaluating lessons learned from past tampering, reviewing and verifying at least annually the effectiveness of security management program, performing random security inspections at all appropriate areas of the facility, and verifying that security contractors are doing the appropriate job. And we can move on to the next slide. So human element staff. This falls into screening, which is pre-hiring, at hiring, and post-hiring. This is basically examining the background of all staff as appropriate to their position. Once again, could also be seasonal employees, temporary, etc. It also is knowing who is and who should be on the premises at any given time. Establishing a system of positive identification and recognition that it is appropriate to the nature of the workforce. Collecting uniforms, name tag, and identification personnel when a staff member is no longer associated with the establishment. Restricted access, that is identifying staff that require unlimited access to all areas of the facility. Reassessing levels for access for staff periodically. Limiting staff access to non-public areas, so staff enter only those areas necessary for their job functions. Changing combinations, rekeying locks, etc., for any access control when a member is no longer with the company. Personal items, restricting the type of personal items allowed into non-public areas, allowing in the establishment only those personal use medicines that are necessary and properly labeled for the employee. Trying to prevent staff to bring personal items into non-public food prep areas, and providing regular inspection of contents of staff lockers, while staying aligned with any federal, state, and local law in regards to that. Training in food security procedures is incorporating food security awareness company-wide, not just for those who are in management. Providing periodic reminders of the importance of security procedures and encouraging staff support. Unusual behavior is just watching for any unusual or suspicious behavior taken on by the staff themselves. Staff health is also an issue. Being alert for atypical staff health conditions could be an early indicator of tampering or other malicious activity, and reporting these conditions to local health authorities. Next slide, please. So human element public, it falls under customers, which is preventing access to food prep areas and storage, dishwashing, including loading docks, monitoring public areas, including entrances and entrances to public restrooms for any unusual or suspicious activity, monitoring the serving or display of foods in the self-service areas. For visitors, it's restricting entry to non-public areas of the establishment, ensuring that there is a valid reason for all visits to non-public areas, verifying the identity of all unknown visitors, and inspecting incoming and outgoing packages and briefcases to the extent practical. Next slide. So under facility, we have physical security. This is protecting a non-public perimeter access with some type of deterrent, fencing, or otherwise when it's appropriate, securing doors, windows, roof openings, etc. Using metal or metal-clad exterior doors to secure the property when the facility is not in operation, minimizing the number of entrances to non-public areas, accounting for all keys to the establishment, monitoring the security of the premises using appropriate methods, minimizing to the extent practical places in non-public areas that can be used to temporarily hide intentional contaminants, i.e. minimizing nooks, crannies, false ceilings, providing adequate interior and exterior lighting, keeping customer, employee, and visitor parking areas separated from entrances to non-public areas. So the storage of use of poisonous and toxic chemicals that could be business related, it's limiting these chemicals in the establishment to where they are required to be for the operation and maintenance of the facility, storing poisonous and toxic chemicals as far away from food handling as possible, limiting access to securing storage areas for poisonous or toxic chemicals, and ensuring that the poisonous and toxic chemicals are properly labeled and they are in accordance with the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, Rodenticide Act. Investigating missing stock or other irregularities outside the normal range of variation, and alerting appropriate law enforcement and public health authorities in the need that you have to. Next slide. Operations. This is the largest segment of this guideline due to the vast issues that could arise from supply chain or logistics. So incoming products is using only known appropriate licensed or permitted products that are when they're applicable, informing suppliers and distributors of the FDA's food security guidance, taking steps to ensure that delivery vehicles are appropriately secured, establishing delivery schedules, not accepting unexplained, unscheduled deliveries, supervising offload of incoming materials, reconciling the product amount received with the product amount that was ordered, investigating shipping documents for suspicious alterations, rejecting suspect food, and alerting appropriate law enforcement and public health in the evidence of tampering, counterfeiting, or other malicious activity. So for storage, it's having a system for receiving, storing, and handling distressed, damaged, and returned products, and product left at checkout counters that minimizes their potential for being compromised, and keeping track of incoming products, materials in use, salvage products, and return products. Investigating missing or extra stock, and minimizing the reuse of containers, shipping packages, cartons when practical. For food service and retail display, it's displaying poisonous toxic chemicals for retail sale in a location where they can be easily monitored. Periodically checking products displayed for retail sale for evidence of tampering or any malicious activity, and monitoring self-service areas. For security of water and utilities, it's limiting access to controls for airflow, water, electricity, and refrigeration, securing non-municipal water wells, ensuring that water systems and trucks are equipped with backflow prevention, chlorinated non-municipal water systems, monitoring the equipment and the chlorine levels, testing non-municipal powers or municipal power sources and water sources, staying attentive to the potential for media alerts about public water provider problems, identifying alternate source of potable water during emergency situations where normal water systems have been compromised. For mail and packages, it's pretty simple. It's implementing procedures to ensure the security of incoming mail and packages. Access to computer systems, it's restricting access to critical computer data systems to those with appropriate clearance levels. eliminating computer access when a staff member is no longer associated with the establishment, establishing a system of traceability of computer transactions, and validating the computer system. I'd like to thank you all for coming to this guideline that I was presenting, and I look forward to talking more with you at the deep dive.
Thank you, Daniel. That was terrific. Some great information there, and raises lots of questions and also providing lots of insight. So the deeper dive will be extremely valuable, and we're looking forward to that. So we'll be talking to you before long about that. Thanks again, and everybody, we'll look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks for joining us.